Morning rain and drizzle transitioning to mostly cloudy conditions later on with a high of 39 degrees. Tomorrow night will be partly cloudy and breezy with a low of 23 degrees. Looking ahead to Monday, anticipate partly sunny skies and a high of 34 degrees with your AccuWeather forecast. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
From local sports to national newsmakers, this is the show everybody is talking about. Live from the Granite State, it's Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Good morning and welcome to the Mike and the Hoss Show, powered by the Shop and the Pulse of New Hampshire. I'm Mike Dene, and alongside Charlie Hossack, we are Mike and the Hoss, dog back in studio. It's another, the weather's not too bad outside, so we don't have to get too far into it. No complaints.
No.
Today is a massive day in sports.
Oh, huge day.
We have a doubleheader on the Pulse.
Yes.
With the Bruins going off at 1:10, I believe, playing a Rangers team that is depleted at this point, so they got a good chance there. And then you get the Wemby's coming to town, and you get the Celtics tonight. That would be an 8:05 tip-off.
Yes.
Pregame at 7:30. You can catch both those games in the Pulse of New Hampshire. But and then on top of that, you got two playoff games because it's wild card weekend in the NFL. Yeah. We need to have like 3 shows this week. We really do. We just need more shows. There's just not enough time to talk about this.
And you can and for people that can multitask, you can listen to the Bruins, you can listen to the Celtics, and then you can have your sound off, and then you can watch your NFL football.
That's not bad.
You can do it all.
That's not bad.
Do it all. It's just kind of it's a great weekend to be a sports fan.
You're going to be announcing a couple games. I'm going to be coaching a game.
I know. I've got a couple games today, a couple ice hockey games. Looking forward to that. A rivalry game, of course, for the one you're coaching.
Yep,
which is great. Looking forward.
Hopefully, a little payback too.
Nothing better than a rivalry game.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
So it's a good sports day, and a lot of it's going to be happening on the Pulse of New Hampshire. Dog, how are you?
Other than having a head cold that my parents gave me, they're sicker than I am. I'll fight through it.
That's good. You look good. You look like you are ready to support your Green Bay Packers.
I absolutely am. And the most hated rival, the Chicago Bears, first division title for the Bears since 2018. Make it the last one. Let's just wrap this one up and just get to the next round. Go Pack, go tonight, 8 p.m. Prime Video.
That's awesome. Hey, later on in the show, Mike, we have a guest joining us, a self-proclaimed, or I've proclaimed him a college football guru, Andrew Cartier. He's going to join us, and we're going to talk some college football. We're going to talk about college football playoffs, and then, of course, we now have the national championship game set.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the past couple of nights they had the semifinals on, and we talked off air.
Yeah.
I'm a little disillusioned with the whole college football thing.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to Andrew about that a little bit too.
Yeah, I'd love to get his opinion.
Because these are professional athletes now.
Yeah.
And, Dog mentioned off air, this is different college football than it was 10 years ago.
Right.
And, when you look at it and you see these guys that are pulling up in their Ferraris or living in penthouses, not going to any classes, and then just tapping out and going to another school afterwards and signing for another couple $1 million. Right. Not that you can blame them, but I'm just blaming the system itself.
Right, the system. And essentially what they've done is become professional athletes who are playing for college.
Right.
Which is too bad.
All right. Mike and the Hoss is powered by the Yum Yum Shop, located in the heart of downtown Wolfboro. Can be found on the Pulse of New Hampshire radio stations and all over the world on the Pulse of New Hampshire app. You can always catch up and listen to our previous shows on the Pulse Podcast Network, Spreaker, Audible, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Yum Yum Shop has over 100 varieties of fresh baked goods, including 6 different types of bread and a full-service ice cream bar. And, of course, their most famous item, the gingerbread cookie. Make sure to visit the Yum Yum Shop the next time you're in Wolfboro or online at yumyumshop.com. And while you're there, enter the discount code of Mike and the Hoss to receive 20% off a Gingy Box. Now you can join our conversation, 603-228-2080. That is 603-228-2080. And a special thanks to the Heinz Group of Philadelphia and London for sponsoring our Facebook Live and YouTube Live feed, where you could see Dog dressed out in his Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I like it. I like that hat because it looks like a helmet.
Slight favorites. Yeah. Packers are slight favorites.
Yeah, go Pack, go for you, Dog.
You always can obviously catch us on social media.
Yes, we're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, of course, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right. Opening Takes brought to you by the Back Bay Boathouse,
where you can enjoy delicious food and drinks right next to the lake. Don't forget to order the $5 Mike and the Hoss penalty box during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m.
All right.
They brought back the soup flights.
They did. They're doing it every day now.
Yeah, they disappeared for a little while. And now they're back.
And Flatbread Mondays, they just posted. That was breaking news this morning.
That's breaking news.
It was breaking news.
Flatbread Mondays at the Back Bay
Mondays.
Boathouse. Good.
You or me?
You can go because I mean this is exciting because we're going to talk a little bit about MVP, and obviously later in the show we're going to talk Patriots. It's exciting. I wanted to ask you a question before we started really. So it's playoff weekend. The Patriots are obviously in the playoffs. How are you feeling? And I guess let me start, and then I want to hear how you feel. I'm excited, but at the same time, I don't know if I feel like I used to always be nervous. Like I'd be a nervous Nelly. The playoffs start, and the Patriots in the playoffs, and I would be nervous. And it was, I know people are probably thinking like, why, Charlie? It's weird that you're nervous. You're not playing. You have no impact on the game. But today I'm kind of feeling like, hey, it's the playoffs. Of course, I want the Patriots to win, but I feel like if for some reason they don't beat the Chargers, okay. I don't know. How are you feeling?
Well, it's interesting you thought that because one of the talks this week has been, and this is not my opening take, but one of the talks this week is that if they lose, is the season a failure?
Right.
And coming to grips with that. And I mean, if you were to sit back in August and we were mid at best in August in terms of how we were feeling, and you would have said 14-3, and you would have said, great, first round playoff loss.
Yeah.
But you probably would have been still okay. The fact that they made the playoffs.
Of course. The fact that they won 14 games.
So do the expectations have to change now because they won the division and they're 14-3 and they have an MVP candidate?
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but I don't know if they change for me. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Like, I mean, obviously I'm going to pick that the Patriots are going to win, but if the Patriots lose on Sunday night, I'll be disappointed, but I think I'd probably still say that this was a successful season.
I'm going to be upset because the naysayers are going to say, look, it was just their
schedule. It was the schedule.
It was just their schedule. And that's going to, the national media is going to really focus on that.
Sure.
And Bill's Mafia is going to really focus on that.
Right.
And I don't want to hear him. So I'm looking for a win and a Bills loss. Sorry, Bernie. All right. My take is about the MVP, and I'm going to put it to bed right now.
Okay.
Drake May, as I just mentioned, is an MVP candidate.
Yes.
He is, right now it's 3-1 odds. He has a 37% chance on Polymarket, which I follow that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
what is Polymarket? Is that
Polymarket is a betting site, and there's another one. There's also Killshare, and that it's a yes or no site. So Dog would love that.
Yeah.
It's a yes or no site. Is the person going to win? And you bet if you believe they're going to win.
Okay.
So there's no. So you get odds in terms of the percentage of chances to win it, but it's strictly based on people betting yes or no.
Gotcha.
You would appreciate this. This called the last presidential election. Polymarket was, everybody thought it was going to be close. Polymarket had President Trump at around 62%. And
really,
yeah. And so it is more about not who you want to win, about who you think is going to win.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a difference, right?
It's just like who you think is going to win.
And so Matthew Stafford and Drake May are the 2-1. Everybody else is below 1%. And Matthew Stafford, after the last weekend when he stat padded his stats in that game, moved up into about 63%.
So 3-1. Okay.
So Drake May is deserving of the MVP, and I have stats here and but I mean, when it comes to stats, besides touchdowns, there's pretty much the only stat that Stafford has May beaten.
Yeah.
But here's my take. I don't want it. I don't want to be the team that worries about whether your player is getting the MVP. Right. I want to be the team that worries about titles. And there's been way too much talk about MVP in New England, where for 20 years we didn't care about the MVP. We barely knew if Brady won the MVP.
Yeah.
It was about, did they win the title?
Did they win?
And I want to get back to that. There's been this, again, sorry, Bernie, this has been so Buffalo, talking about Josh Allen and the MVP and last year. And I remember last year with him and Lamar and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is we're not Buffalo.
Right.
We're not Buffalo. We are worried about the championships, and that's it. I don't want to be the team that worries about MVPs. Mm-hmm. Now, is Drake May deserving an MVP? Absolutely. I don't care if he gets it. I want the MVP to be icing on the cake, not the cake.
Right.
You follow me? And I think there's too many teams, and it's not just Buffalo, but I think there's too many teams that worry more about the individual awards and too many fan bases that worry about the individual awards rather than the team award, which is the Super Bowl title. And I want New England to get back to where they were for 20 years, and that A season was only a success if you brought home the Lombardi Trophy.
Right.
And that's what I'm looking for.
I like it. It's a great idea. And you made a good point about the Celtics. Like the focus was always Jason Tatum MVP. And, we got away from how about putting up another banner? Like let's win the banner.
Correct.
And not worry about who the MVP is.
And to be fair, we railed on people that were only wanted the Jason Tatum MVP and Jason Tatum going for it. And they didn't have the title at the time. Now they had the titles a couple years ago. So, it flexed them a little bit. I don't want the Patriots fan base, the Patriots team, the Patriots front office, Patriots media to be worried about the MVP until they can hoist the trophy.
You just set up a situation. Imagine this. Patriots lose Sunday night and Drake May wins the MVP. It'll
be hollow.
Absolutely. Totally. Completely hollow.
Yeah. And I would say the same thing about Matthew Stafford or anybody else. I think that the MVP should come from, in most cases, at least the final four teams.
Yeah.
At least the final four teams, you should be getting the MVP from them. That's personal. That's just my general feeling. I caught myself this week. I caught myself looking at MVP odds and then looking at the stat line, and I put them in here, and then I was like, stop.
Right.
I don't want this. I don't want to be Jason Tatum. I don't want to be, that team that only worries about that. I want to be the team that just is satisfied with Lombardi trophies, and that's it.
Right.
Everything else is icing.
I like it. I know we're going to be taking a break here in a second. At some point, if we have some time, I want to talk about another MVP. I want to talk about Tom Brady. And so maybe we can work that into one of our segments later.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take a break. We will be right back. Mike and Haas and the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Your home for news, talk, and information. This is 107.7 WTPL, the Pulse of New Hampshire.
New year, new goals, new routines. But if pain, stiffness, or low energy followed you into 2026, it's time for a different approach. At Crossroads Chiropractic, we don't believe in chasing symptoms. We focus on the root cause, how your spine and nervous system are working together to control movement, energy, and overall health. When your nervous system is under stress, your body adapts with pain, tension, headaches, and fatigue. Chiropractic care helps restore proper alignment, reduce nerve interference, and get your body functioning the way it was designed to. This year, don't just cover things up, correct them. Whether your goal is to move better, feel stronger, sleep deeper, or simply live with less pain, Crossroads Chiropractic is here to help. This month, a complete exam with any necessary x-rays is just $59 at Crossroads Chiropractic locations in Bedford, Pembroke, Meredith, and Epping. Call 603-575-9080. That's 603-575-9080 or visit crossroadschiropractic.com.
Hey, this is Mike Dene alongside Charlie Hossack from Mike and the Hoss.
You know what I love about getting away to the coast? That fresh, clean feeling.
What if you could get that feeling anywhere? That's what drinking Maine Love water is like.
It's true. It's sourced from pristine Maine water, and you can taste the difference. It's so crisp and refreshing, and it comes in recyclable aluminum cans, not plastic.
Whether you choose their pure water or their feel-good flavored seltzers, you're getting simple, sustainable, feel-good hydration.
That's Maine Love. Bring that clean Maine feeling home with you.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy place every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
In life, there will always be the unexpected. That's why Allied Insurance Agency wants to be there for you when the unexpected happens with the coverage you need. Allied Insurance can provide insurance coverages and policies for your home, auto, business, and life. Allied's agents also know the importance of explaining your policies clearly and unconvoluted. Let Allied give you the peace of mind that only the right insurance policies can provide if or when the unexpected happens. Go to AlliedIA.com.
Table, please.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to the Granite State's own Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
On the radio waves, teachers by day, coaches making plays, sports talking kings of Wolf Fibaro Town.
So Doug asked me not to play drums along with the song, so I'm gonna make sure I don't pound the table.
Stop pounding the table.
Oh, we're not declaring that it was me. It was just
We
you
are notoriously known to pound the table.
It's called passionate opening takes.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Find a new way to show your passion.
Speaking of passion,
yes,
we have somebody who is very passionate about college football on the line.
We do.
Andrew Cartier is joining us, who is a self-proclaimed, or you proclaimed?
I proclaimed him.
You
He's
proclaimed
not
him.
self-proclaimed.
All right,
He is a college football guru. He's a New Hampshire native. He's now living in the great state of Utah, and he's joining us today to talk everything college football. Andrew, how are you?
Good, man. How are you guys? Good to be talking.
Great, Andrew. Great, Andrew. Thanks for joining us.
We're excited for you to join us today. Just a couple things. Before we ask a million questions of you, give us a little. I know a little bit about what you've been up to, but tell us what's going on with you. You know, you've I've seen some of your social media. You're traveling around. You're seeing lots of college football games. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, growing up, it's been the fall passion of mine, you know, playing football. And then, you know, high school, you play on Friday, Saturday, you wake up and you spend the day on the couch watching college football. And then, you know, once you get your big boy money, you can go and enjoy those games and go to those big stadiums. Obviously, you know, growing up in Gainesville, Florida, huge Gators fan. So try to get to a Gators game every year. But, you know, being out west now, there's a bunch of good Big 12 ball. UCLA plays in the Rose Bowl, so got to go to that this year for the first game. It was Utah at UCLA, and me and my buddies were like, "Dude, we got to get there." So that was a great way to, you know, enter in the college football year, and then, you know, like I said, making your big boy money, and I'm not really doing anything else, so traveling around, getting to these games, really getting, you know, the experience of college football, and that's what I love about college football. It's you know, there's the band, there's the college kids, there's, you know, there's the whole pageantry around it that really makes it special, and I just think it's the greatest game in the world.
So, Andrew, are there teams out there that you specifically root for, or do you just generally just go and take in the moment no matter who's playing?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I was saying, huge Florida Gators fan. My heart lies with them, but there's so many good teams to go see. You know, here in Utah, you got Utah and BYU, both top 15 teams this year. Great ball. You know, Texas Tech played at Utah this year. Big Noon Kickoff was there. Got to see all of that. So definitely huge Florida Gators fan. I'm wearing a Florida Gators sweatshirt right now. But other than that, it's just the experience of college football and really taking those venues in.
That's awesome. Well, just you know, make sure you listen to the next segment because you're going to love our trivia question today. But that being said, that being said, Andrew, a couple of things we wanted to kind of address with you. We wanted to talk a little bit about how you feel about the college football playoff format of this year, and then maybe a little bit about NIL and the money. And I guess our take is college football or college sports in general really turning into professional sports. But I'd love to, if you want to maybe start with the college football playoff format, your thoughts and ideas, and can it get better, or do you just love it the way it is?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's problems with it right now. You know, from the 4 to 12 team playoff, I think expanding the playoffs was a fine idea. But right now we're kind of looking at rewarding conferences rather than, you know, play on the field. Of course, the big issue was Notre Dame getting left out of the playoffs. And then those 2 group of 5 teams, and then, you know, Miami didn't even make the ACC championship game. So that's a problem. I think a lot of people, a lot of fans just want the top 12 teams, and I totally agree because I don't think a lot of people really knew or even thought that Tulane and JMU could make a run for the playoffs. That's what you want to see. That's what the playoffs are supposed to be: the best games, the best teams all competing for a national championship. And I think really the past 2 years ish, especially this year, we just didn't get it right. There's a couple things I've seen of structuring the playoffs to where conference championships still matter, because you saw 4 or 5 SEC teams that didn't make the championship game get top seeds. If you do maybe the 4 winners of the Power 4 conferences and then the losers of the conference championship games, that's 8 teams. And then you have, 3 at-large bids, and then 1 group of 5 team. Because I know you get into the antitrust laws of keeping group of 5 teams out of the playoffs. So that's an issue. But if you had, that means if you win your conference championship game, you're in. If you lose, you're also in, but maybe you don't get the first round bye. And then there's 3 at-large bids, which Notre Dame's not in a conference, so that one of those bids could go to them. And then conference championship weekend, you have those 3 play-in games. And so rather than you won your conference, you're in, you won a schedule, you had a good strength of record, strength of schedule, you're in. Now the play on the field constitutes you getting into the playoffs. And then, those 3 play-in games get played on conference championship weekend, and then we have more college football on conference championship weekend. And, I think that's a pretty easy fix. You get more football, you get a defined path to the playoffs. That's what we need. So you don't get, these politicking of, Texas being, we beat 3 top 10 teams for the first time since 2019 LSU, and then we're out, right? So, it's all new, and with big changes comes, big problems. So, I think it will even out, but it's going to take time, and take, these college football fans and college football reporters to keep applying the pressure for the committee to, make these changes and make college football even better.
Going to 12 from the 4, when they were at 4, people are upset that they got left out.
Yeah.
They're at 12. Notre Dame has a legit argument because there's a lot of people that think that Miami is one of Notre Dame's place.
Yeah.
And Miami's in the finals now. So, I think Notre Dame is coming from a legitimate place of being upset about it because of that. And as Andrew said, James Madison and Tulane are in there, and with their automatic bids, and the conferences that they're playing and the schedule that they're playing is completely different than an SEC schedule, for instance. Right. So there's the problems. If they went to 16 teams, there'd still be people that are upset. I like what Andrew's saying. Just make a clear path to the playoffs. Right. And for those smaller conference teams, maybe they're playing games. There's some playing games, and on another level, say you have 4 small conference winners, maybe they play a mini tournament to get to the actual national championship bid, which means shrinking the season. Absolutely. And stuff like that. It really does extend the season quite a bit. Turning the page, Andrew, we've spent a lot of time on this show talking about NIL and what college football looks like, and that they're really, and you mentioned the atmosphere when you go to these college games, that is all college, all these college kids, fans are rooting and everything like that, but they're really rooting for kids, players that don't have a ton of commitment to the school. This is their 3rd school or 4th school, or they're leaving in January to go to their next NIL contract. How do you feel about the overall NIL effect on college football and what it's done to the product?
Yeah, I think, overall, I do think it's a good thing. Players making this money is totally fair and what should happen. But like I said, with big changes comes big problems, and it's just vastly unregulated right now. You know, players can go anywhere, just next contract. We saw that with the Washington QB, Damon Williams, who signed his contract and then the day later entered the transfer portal. You know, he is back at Washington. But, you know, there needs to be one opening of the transfer portal, probably not January 2nd, because, you know, the national championship game gets played January 19th, and, you know, have it in May. So these guys are in for, you know, spring practice. And, you know, 3-4 transfers. You've seen that with like guys like TJ Finley, who's played for, you know, 5 colleges now. And they're just trying to chase. You know, you can go back to the old transfer rules of, you know, if you transfer, you stay out a year. And I do think Dante Moore did it really right of, you know, transferring from UCLA, sitting behind Dylan Gabriel for a year at Oregon. And then now, you know, he kind of played poorly last night, but, you know, got his team to the semifinals. So I think overall NIL, really good idea, especially just for all of college students. You know, it's not just the football players that are getting the majority contracts, but, you know, it goes from basketball to baseball, to softball to, you know, gymnastics and everything. So it's cool to see, you know, these college athletes get more rewards and not just like the NCAA, you know, getting rewarded off their athletes. But yeah, it needs to be regulation. There needs to be a cap, maybe, and enforcing of contracts. You know, if you sign a contract, make them minimum 2 years or maybe minimum 3 years. So by the time you're draft eligible, you're at one college for that entire time. And if you do transfer, then you have to take, you know, a percentage cut of NIL. You can't just be chasing contracts. And that way, yeah, there's just more regulation. There's more, all right, this is your team. You signed this contract. You're going to play for us for, you know, the next 2 to 3 years. And then, you know, by that fourth year, if you're like, you know, I want to win a national championship or I want to go to a program that can elevate my draft stock, then you have that chance. But yeah, I do agree that it's very much the Wild West. It's very unregulated, and it is hurting the sport.
Yeah, it's a good way, Andrew, to describe it, the Wild West. I like your idea. I like if we can get some commitment from these college athletes, and then maybe that final year, if you want to improve your NFL stock. I totally agree with that. Hey, before we let you go, though, we're gonna have you make a pick. National championship game coming up. Obviously, you've got Indiana, and they're playing the great University of Miami. What are your thoughts? Who's going to win the national championship?
I'll give a little shout out to Miami. You know, being born in Florida, great state. I do not like Miami that much. But dude, this is Indiana's year. They just obliterated everybody. That Oregon game last night was shocking. I was texting a couple of my buddies last night. I was like, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in college football. The turnaround Persignetti's done is unreal. It's probably the best turnaround in all of major sports ever. And so, you know, making that Oregon team look like that and then beating them 66-22. And, you know, it's going to be a tough challenge for Mario Cristobal, Carson Beck, all those guys. I mean, I know Miami's line of scrimmage on both sides is phenomenal. But, you know, Indiana is just, they're kind of just on a run for the ages, and
different.
definitely in the air.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Mike and I will make our picks next week. But Andrew, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. I know that it's a little bit early out there. Yeah. It's a little early out there. Yeah, a little early out there in Utah, so maybe you can grab a little nap. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for offering your expertise, and we look forward to speaking with you again in the future. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yep. God bless.
Yeah, you too.
You want to do a quick read of New Hampshire sports?
Yeah, New Hampshire Sports is brought to you by Bailey's Bubble. Family-owned and operated Bailey's Bubble in downtown Wolfboro serves the finest ice cream in the state from May through October. If you can't make it to Wolfboro for ice cream, you can still order their hot fudge, panucci, and butterscotch sauces at baileysbubble.com. My favorite sauce is their homemade hot fudge. When placing your order, don't forget to tell them that Mike and the Haas sent you. A really big shout out, though, to Chip and Deb, who own Bailey's Bubble, because my wife made this most amazing ice cream cake a couple days ago, and she asked me to get some hot fudge. They were going to give me a small little jar, and then, oh my gosh, they went out. They took me to the fudge room.
I've been in the fudge room.
They took me to the fudge room, and I essentially got a vat of hot fudge, and oh my goodness, my wife made an amazing cake. And thank you, Chip and Deb, for providing the hot fudge sauce.
Awesome. All right, we'll be right back. Mike and Austin, the Pulse of New Hampshire.
107.7 WTPL, the Pulse of New Hampshire.
When I go places and do things, I can't help look at stuff that I think is unsafe.
Scott Lawson of the Lawson Group on serious injuries that can happen in the workplace.
Most companies, when there is an injury like that, they do go overboard, and they spend way too much time and effort and energy and money on the wrong things, because typically it is people's behavior, lack of training, education, equipment, whatever, that allowed them to get hurt. And that's really where they should be focusing their emphasis.
In your expertise, what is the generalized root cause for most accidents in the workplace?
So the last thing in the world you want to do is have a brand new employee that's never seen this machinery or equipment before be trained by somebody that knows how to break all the rules without getting hurt. Although Joe may be there for 20 years and he's a good employee and produces a lot of widgets and very high quality widgets, he may be cutting every corner in the books because he's been doing it for 25 years.
For workplace safety information on everything from indoor air quality and hazardous materials management to noise exposure, wellness consulting, and workman's comp, it's the Lawson Group. Go to thelawsongroup.com.
Hey, it's Big Pete, and this is Repeat from the Appleseed Restaurant in beautiful Bradford, New Hampshire. Right on. What's a good way to start your Sunday morning, Dad? Probably with a fabulous breakfast buffet. Do you know of any? I know that there's one served at the Appleseed Restaurant, and we're also serving a breakfast buffet now at Fenton's Landing and Sunapee Harbor. Sweet. Same choices at both great locations. And for the most up-to-date hours, you can check our websites, appleseedrestaurant.com or fentonslanding.com. That'd be on the computer, right? That's right, Dad, on the computer, on the internet. Love the internet. Now, what do we offer on that fabulous breakfast buffet? Oh, we have bacon, eggs, sausage, home fries, corned beef hash, Big Pete's famous barbecue pulled pork, and lots of other great stuff. And if you want to see a real live working fossil, Big Pete works the Sunday morning shift. Yep, and I'm still out working you. Burn! Not like the bacon that you burned last week. Ouch. Just hit appleseedrestaurant.com, where we have gravy.
Sear Lumber in Warner is your go-to hardware store for winter. Conveniently located just off Exit 7 on I-89. Swing on in and grab your New Hampshire winter needs. Grab a bag of ice melt or rock salt. Pick up a new shovel and roof rake for removing heavy snow and protecting your vehicles and home. Have a wood pellet stove? Sear Lumber has hardwood pellets available with free delivery for 3 or more tons. It's never too late in the season to replace drafty doors or windows. Sear has top-of-the-line Therma-Tru, Masonite, TrustGuard, and Anderson products that are sure to save you on your heating bills. For contractors and homeowners, Sear Lumber offers free estimating services. So if you have a project and need a professional estimate, Sear Lumber is here and ready to help you set that project into motion. And don't forget, your Sear Lumber location in Warner is a fully stocked Ace Hardware store for all your home project needs. Just off Exit 7 on I-89, open 7 days a week, and online at SearLumber.com.
Get in touch with the show anytime at thepulseofnh.com and on the free-to-download Pulse of NH app. Now, back to Mike and the Haas on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
I know. All right, we went a little over, so we're gonna have to cut. We're gonna have to get to it because we want to leave time for trivia. We got a lot of playoff talk to talk about. We got to do our picks. and a lot of a coaching thing. We're in the NFL coaching carousel. So,
yeah. All right. So trivia. Thanks again to Andrew for joining us out there in the great state of Utah. All right. Today's trivia is sponsored by Belladina Coffee. Wake up your senses with Belladina Coffee, a lovely choice. Every cup starts with fresh specialty roast crafted in small batches for rich, smooth flavor. Whether you like bold, bright, or perfectly balanced, Belladina works for you to create a custom blend just for your taste. Treat yourself or share with your friends Belladina Coffee, specialty roasts that awaken your day. Get Belladina Coffee delivered to your door at belladinacoffee.com. Order today and discover why Belladina Coffee is truly a lovely choice. So you're going to get a chance to win some Belladina Coffee. You call in, answer the trivia question. Dog's going to take your information and we'll get it to the owners of Belladina Coffee. All right, here's the trivia question. Who is the only person to win the Heisman Trophy and coach a national championship team? Who is the only person to win the Heisman Trophy? So he won the Heisman Trophy, and as head coach, he was the head coach of a national championship team. If you know, 603-228-2080. That's 603-228-2080 for a chance to win Belladina Coffee.
We talked about the Bruins and the Celtics at the beginning of the show. 1:10 puck drop for the Bruins with the Rangers, and then tonight the Celtics are playing the Spurs and Wemby. It's going to both games on the Pulse of New Hampshire. So if you definitely want to see some hockey and some basketball, tune in. Celtics are doing great. Bruins not so much. But we want to keep this around football this weekend.
Sure.
And you had some things to say about Tom Brady.
I did. So, talking about MVPs, but Tom Brady. So Tom Brady's always in the news. Obviously, he's an announcer for Fox, the Fox network, NFL announcer. And he's also a minority owner of the Los Angeles Raiders. So here's my question. Is it ethical for Tom Brady to be
Los Angeles?
What's that? Oh, Las Vegas. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, not Los Angeles. Yeah, Las Vegas. Is it ethical for Tom Brady to be part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders and an NFL announcer? So here are my thoughts. We have some potential conflict of interest. As a broadcaster, he has access to coaches and players from all the teams in the NFL. That's obviously something most minority owners, or if not any minority owner, has. The information that Tom Brady gets from all of this access could inform decisions for the Raiders that could benefit the Raiders. Obviously, he might get some tendencies and tips that he could provide to the coaching staff of the Raiders. And that even if Tom gets this information and then he doesn't use it to a competitive advantage, there clearly is still, and we know about this essence or appearance of impropriety. The two of us, Mike, are often like, what did Las Vegas say about this? Should he have scored that touchdown, or why did he drop that pass? So there could be some impropriety there. So what are your thoughts? I mean, you have a situation that we've never had before. So everybody's learning on the fly. He's a minority owner and an announcer.
He's not. That was.
Sorry, dog.
That was him. The problem for Brady, he's just not an owner in name only. He's an active owner.
Yes.
He's got the headset on.
He'll sit in the booth.
And he's apparently involved. We're going to talk about the coaching carousel in a second. He's apparently going to be involved in the coaching search for the Raiders.
Yes.
So he's an active owner, which I think is, if he owned it like a stock, then I think it would be different. But no, he has a vested interest in the Vegas Raiders winning.
Right.
And he's going to do what he can to get the Vegas Raiders to win.
Yeah. I mean, I would say,
therefore, it's compromising his
absolutely.
other job.
I feel like he's involved in day-to-day operations
of
the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
I think he knows exactly what's going on.
I think it's crossed the line in just being an owner in name only. He's active. He cares about it. And he's he's involved with the coaching search.
Absolutely.
So speaking of the coaching search.
Yeah, talk about it.
No, you're going to talk
coaching.
about it.
I'm going to talk about
the carousel. You wanted to talk about the carousel.
Yeah, my bad. The coaching carousel. We have a lot of openings. So here are the current openings. All right, and Dog, you can add more if I'm missing any. You have the Giants. You have the Ravens. You have the Browns. You have the Raiders. You have the Falcons. You have the Cardinals, and you have the Dolphins. That's a lot of openings for NFL head coaches.
It is.
And some of these are looking for general managers as well.
The two surprising ones this week were John Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel with
Sure.
the Dolphins that opened up. And I think what we're going to see is that everybody's going to wait to see where John Harbaugh
Where
lands.
he's going to land, yeah.
And there's a lot of talk that
He's going to land in Buffalo, baby,
that
when Buffalo loses.
He's waiting for the games this weekend because
They're
it's
gonna
not
hire
just
McDermott.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
The other choice is Green Bay. That both those teams, if one of those teams lose, they're going to be considering an underachievement, and those coaches are gone. Dog wants to jump in.
We got the Cardinals, and also there could be an opening after Monday night in Pittsburgh as well.
Oh, Tomlin could go. Yes, sir.
Fired, but leave and go to the Giants.
Oh.
So nobody is,
Interesting,
it's weird that so many openings, nobody's been hired yet.
Right.
And because they're all waiting for Harbaugh. Harbaugh is the one that they want. McDaniel's been rumored to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Good riddance. Go. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just it's Harbaugh's that's the one. Josh McDaniels, speaking of McDaniels,
Yeah.
there's been talk about him, and he said he's going to stay.
He needs to stay.
I agree.
He
And
needs to just be
he
an
released a
offensive
statement. He released
coordinator.
a statement on
Yeah.
this, but it just seems to be a I don't know the right word, just a vacuum of good coaches. And what happened with the Patriots, has an effect on these ownerships. So they look and they say, look what Vrabel did to the Patriots.
Right.
He turned from 4-13 to 14-3.
Yeah.
We want that same bump.
Right.
And so they're going to make that move. You want to do trivia one more time?
Yeah,
we go to
trivia
break?
one more time before we go to break. Who is the only person to win the Heisman Trophy and coach a national championship team? If you know, it's 603-228-2080. That's 603-228-2080. And also Belladina Coffee, they're sponsoring this Valentine's Day. Skip the flowers and give a coffee hug from Belladina Coffee. You can get this really cool gift from Belladina Coffee for your love for Valentine's Day. So check out Belladina Coffee online at belladinacoffee.com.
We mentioned the Bruins and the Celtics. That has to do with our poll question this week. Dog, you ready to do the poll question?
Absolutely. Last week, it was, did you watch the 2026 NHL Winter Classic? Yes or no? 83.3% saying no, 16.7% saying yes. Now today, as you guys have mentioned, at 12:30 p.m. is the pregame on the Pulse of New Hampshire with a 110 face-off, as the Rangers will be at the Bruins, and then later on tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8:05 tip-off, the Boston Celtics will be hosting the San Antonio Spurs. With that in mind, have you ever been to a Boston sports doubleheader at TD Garden? Yes or no?
All right, we'll be right back with some picks.
This is the Pulse of New Hampshire, 107.7 WTPL.
You want to keep your home comfortable and take advantage of savings? Call the trusted heating and cooling professionals at Ethical Home Pro, serving Bedford and surrounding areas. From heating repairs to system replacements and routine maintenance, Ethical Home Pro does it all. They service every type of system, from gas, oil, heat pumps, and ductless mini splits. Now get ready for some great deals. If your heating system isn't working properly, mention this ad and receive 10% off any heating repair. Thinking about replacing your system? Ethical Home Pro offers free replacement estimates, convenient financing options, and 10% off your system replacement when you mention this ad. And if your system just needs a little care, schedule a tune-up and take $20 off your heating maintenance service when you mention this ad. Ethical Home Pro, your long-trusted heating and cooling professionals. Offers cannot be combined with any other promotion.
We do things the right way, the ethical way. Ethical Home Pro, Ethical Home Pro.
Hi, Jack Heath here, inviting you to join me on October 25th for a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette Travel. From the historic cities of London and Edinburgh Castle to the English charm of Chester, medieval York and York Minster, the lovely Stratford-upon-Avon, and of course, London. Along the way, we'll board a train and travel through the rolling hills and even enjoy a traditional English afternoon tea. Colette handles every detail, your flights, your meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. So don't miss out. Join me by calling Colette at 800-581-8942. Or visit thepulseofanh.com to learn more. And Colette's number again, 800-581-8942.
Let me show you the world. Come with me.
Hey, this is Mike Dene alongside Charlie Hossack from Mike and the Hoss.
You know that feeling when you take a sip of water and it's just perfect?
That's the Maine love feeling. We're talking about water sourced from the pristine Sebago Lake in Maine. It's hydration that just hits different.
And it comes in these sleek, recyclable aluminum cans, not plastic. Whether you want crisp, still water, or bubbly flavored seltzer, you're getting that clean Maine taste.
Forget the plastic. Feel the good vibes. Reach for Maine love.
Bring that clean Maine feeling home with you.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what? End up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're listening to the Granite State's own Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
So we just heard the ad from Maine Love. Our fourth segment, our NFL picks, is also sponsored by Maine Love.
Yeah, Mike, we love New Hampshire, but let's be honest. Maine water just hits different. Maine Love water and seltzers, here they are sourced from pristine Maine water. And they're the sponsor, of course, of our show because we actually love it. It's good. It's good
very
stuff.
good.
Like
Very
this is
good.
my favorite, the raspberry lime with bubbles. If you're reaching for canned water or seltzer, give Maine Love a try.
Yeah, and a great story. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
A great story on how they use underutilized breweries
yeah.
and their employees to produce their water. So
that's why you get the 16-ounce sleek can.
That's
Good
right.
stuff.
That's right. All right. So, I mean, I guess we have a few minutes before we're doing 6 games for picks this week.
We are.
We're going to do a quick preview as we go through this, and then we're going to get to our picks.
Yeah.
Is this the best weekend in football, or is next weekend the best weekend in football?
No, I think this is because it's the most game. The
most games?
The most playoff games.
So you get 2 games today, 3 tomorrow, and 1 on Monday.
Yeah.
That's
just
pretty good.
It's just a nice weekend.
And none of them overlap.
No.
So if you're into NFL football, if you are into the playoffs, you could sit down and turn the TV on and basically get about 6, 12, 18 hours of football.
You could, yeah. I mean, I know that, what is it? Is there only one game? I know that one game is on Prime, Doug. Is that the only one that's streaming? Is everything else, everybody else can access?
Yep, that's it. Prime Video tonight. Now, if you're in the Green Bay, Chicago markets, you can watch it, on, because what they do is, you guys have probably seen this before, where the Patriots have been on Prime Video, but they've been on
NUR.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of good games here. And as we look through these games, I don't think there's one automatic. There's not one that you could say, in years past, I'll use the Patriots, for example. The Patriots would play a depleted Jacksonville team or something like that in the first round or second round.
Sure.
And you would be like, this is going to be a big upset.
Yeah.
I don't see a big upset in any of these 6 games.
No, I think they should all be competitive. I mean, if I were to pick one, maybe Panthers, Rams, but the Rams haven't been, as Dog would say, as super as they've looked in the past.
Well, also the Panthers just beat the Rams about 4 weeks ago too.
Correct.
So
yeah,
there's
but you're right. I don't think there's anyone here that you could just if you pick different than me, I think we both have a pretty good chance of having that team win.
Yeah,
there's no blow.
Which is good for you guys because I'm currently I'm 2 up on Dog and 3 up on you.
So Mike has, so just to recap, I know people like to hear this. Mike has 59 wins. Dog has 57 wins. And I have 56 wins.
And I was wire to wire in regular season.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to choke it away in the playoffs.
And I'm okay. And Dog and I are okay with
I'm going to be this first place team that chokes it away in the playoffs. All right. The first game is this afternoon. This afternoon. It is the Panthers visiting the Rams.
Yes.
Matthew Stafford, most likely.
Rams are visiting the Panthers.
Yeah, the Rams are the 5 seed.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Rams are, the way that ESPN did the schedule, the home team is on top for some reason. And
Yes.
home teams are never on top when they do
they
these
are,
things,
but they are in this situation.
The Rams are visiting the Panthers.
Yes.
The Rams are a Super Bowl favorite, even coming from the 5th seed.
Yeah. Potential, like you said, potential
NFL
likely
MVP.
Yeah.
The Panthers just beat them 4 weeks ago, but I am going to start with picking the Rams. I am going to think that they're going to make up for that.
Okay.
They are better
So the
than
Rams,
Carolina.
The Rams are going to win on the road, Mike.
Remember, Carolina backed into the playoffs.
Yeah, I
they
know.
they lost
I know.
last week to Tampa, so
right.
they backed in. All right, so I got the Rams. Dog?
Rams, again, you're 0-0 now. Forget what happened 2-3 weeks ago. All teams are 0-0. It's a new slate.
Yeah, it's like a new season. You're right. And I am also taking the Rams to beat the Panthers.
All right. The second game is tonight. This is the Prime Video game where Dog's beloved Packers, and if you're catching the stream, you can see he is dressed up all in Packers gear.
Absolutely. It's ready to go.
Are visiting their arch rival, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. They're going to Chicago.
Packers were preseason. They were amongst the preseason favorites for Super Bowl. They have certainly had a roller coaster of a year.
Yeah.
Jordan Love is playing, I'm assuming, Dog?
Yes, he's out of concussion protocol. He's good to go tonight. Revenge time.
I don't believe in the Bears. They're a 2 seed, but I don't believe in them. If you look at their offense, even though Brad Johnson, Ben Johnson, thank you. I was close.
You got the B.
He was the offensive guru, but he's got
is.
them winning. So I'm going to say the Packers. It's going to be a little bit of an
Taking the
upset.
Packers,
I've got
okay.
the Packers. Dog?
Go, Pack, go. Pack.
Yeah, shouldn't even have asked.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Chicago at home is going to be victorious.
All
Cut
right.
his mic up. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So then we go to tomorrow. The first game is the Jaguars. The Bills at the Jaguars.
Yes.
Jaguars, pretty sneaky, pretty 13-win team there.
They are.
The Bills, I think everybody's looking at this year as the Bills' year because of Mahomes being out, Burrow being out, and just got kind of that path, the easiest path that they've had.
Yeah.
But they have to do it 3 games on the road, most likely. The Jaguars are a much more complete team than the Bills. I think Josh Allen is probably the best player, the most dominant player in the NFL.
So good.
But he doesn't have a lot around him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that Josh Allen's going to pull this one out, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
Interesting. Okay. You know what I should have booked, Dog, before you do your pick? What I should have asked is
We're on the clock here. So.
I wonder what Vegas thinks.
They have the Bills favored.
They have the Bills favored.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are you thinking there, Dog?
Josh Allen has never won a playoff game on the road. Sean McDermott's job is in jeopardy. They got to win this game. They will not, though. I'm taking the Jags.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm interested. I'm thinking that Vegas wants Harbaugh to become the next Bills coach and have McDermott fired. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to win on the road.
Okay. All right. The next game is the Eagles. 49ers at the Eagles. West Coast to East Coast.
Boy.
Eagles defending Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
49ers obviously playing pretty well. I think the Eagles hold. I think they're built for the playoffs. I got the Eagles.
Okay. Dog.
I got the champs until further notice. I think they're going to be playing stout defense. So,
And as much as I love the 49ers, I'm taking the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay, Sunday night, this is our Patriots game. The Chargers are visiting. Chargers rested their guys last week. Patriots, potential MVP. I don't want to say it. Patriots are favored by 3, I believe. I got the Patriots holding. I think they're going to play well. Dog.
remember when the season began, Packers Chargers was my Super Bowl. Why would I go against that now? Harbaugh knows how to win in the cold on the road. Remember, he did this with San Francisco in Green Bay. I'm taking the Bolts in Foxborough.
Wow. I'm taking the Patriots.
All right.
Patriots will win the playoff game.
And the last one, Monday night, we have a Monday night wildcard game. The Texans visiting the Steelers. I think the Steelers are frauds. And so I think the Texans are going to win on the road. That's a defensive team, and I like what they're doing. I get the Texans.
Does Mike Tomlin get fired?
No.
Okay. Dog, what do you got?
Remember, the Steelers have not lost a Monday night game since 1991, but that's going to change. The Houston Texans, I think, have arguably the best defense other than the Seahawks in the game. Mike Tomlin will quit and become the New York Giants head coach.
I agree. It's going to be Houston Texans. I've got
Houston
the
Texans. All right.
Yeah, the winner, the trivia answer was Steve Spurrier.
Surprised we didn't get a call on that one. All right. Hey, thanks for listening. Catch Overtime with Mike and the Hoss this week in the middle of the week, and we'll be back next week with more Mike and the Hoss.